In today's video, we're taking a look comparing the Amaran 200XS to the GVM SD300B Pro. Now, as you can see, these lights look a little bit different. They're not exactly the same, but they're very similar because they're both bicolor and they're aimed at a specific market segment looking to do low budget video with high quality performance. Now, GVM sent me out this light because they saw the videos I did on the Amaran 200XS that I did, which I bought this light, and they wanted me to compare this light against it because they're very similar as far as price. So hopefully by the end of today's video, if you're in the market for one of these kinds of high-powered lights, I can help you make a decision. And spoiler alert, it's really going to depend on the kind of video work you're doing. So let's start with the Amaran 200XS because off the bat, this light is a little bit heavier, as you could probably tell by the build. So this is the 200XS. Of the two lights, it is definitely the smaller light. It is the lightest light, and it does have the most color accuracy. The one thing about the Amaran 200XS is it is the most color accurate light out there, period, still to this day, which is pretty insane for how affordable this light is. Now, this light, you get some basic features. There's a little LCD screen on the back. You can change the CCT color. You can change the overall intensity. There is an app. The Sidus Link app works really great. And that's pretty much it. You get some effects, it's bicolor, it's a 200 watt light, and the overall light output is a little bit less on this than the GVM, but it also is less expensive. Now, the build quality is where these things change a lot. So as you can see, certain parts of this light have metal, especially this part of the mount right here is metal, this side piece right here is metal, and it's just fastened onto the light via screws. But the actual build quality of this light in general is more plasticky. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing because due to the materials they made to build this light, it is insanely light. I mean, way lighter than the GVM. Due to its weight is part of the reason why I have a Pelican case with this Amaran 200XS, I have the Amaran 200DS, and then I also have some other Amaran lights, some Zhuin lights, and they all fit in a very small Pelican case that I could bring on the plane with me. So I do really like that, even though these lights are definitely not as durable as the GVM light or some of the more expensive aperture lights. But the more expensive aperture lights are more expensive than the GVM light, so you do have to remember that. Now, when it comes to the power brick, it has a locking power brick that locks just right here, and you can hang the power brick from your light stand, but there's really nowhere to mount the power brick to, so that's one thing to note. That is a difference of the GVM you'll see in a second. And that's really the main differences. The light output isn't as much, but the color accuracy is better. It definitely weighs a lot less. And these Amaran lights are really geared more towards content creators. A lot of filmmakers pick this light up because it is the most color accurate light possible. And this has been my main key light on all of my shoots in 2024. So I do really, really love this light. I'm not going to hide that. It's part of the reason I made that video on it, and it's why GVM sent me out their light. So let's take a look at the GVM light. So here's GVM's light, the SD300B Pro. Now, by the name, I'm going to tell you off the bat, this is the more professional light. If you're a filmmaker, content creator, and you're looking for a professional light on a budget, this light is the more professional option over the Amaran 200XS. As far as color accuracy, it's very accurate. It just doesn't touch the 200XS. No one's been able to touch that light yet. This is a more professional light. It looks more professional. It definitely weighs a lot more and is more durable. When you take a look at this light, it's made out of all metal. Right here, this is all metal. Right there. It's very, very well built. When it comes to the fan, on low intensities, I don't hear it at all. I don't really hear the fan too much on the 200XS. Again, that was another thing that they fixed on the S models, is the fan noise was much better on those Amaran lights. But the fan noise doesn't really seem to be an issue with this light. The only time I've really heard it kick on is when I'm at maximum intensity. And for most of the work I'm using this light for, it's not at maximum intensity. Now, this light has an app, just like the Amaran light. So if you're in a GVM ecosystem, having the app makes a lot of sense because you don't have to have a DMX unit. Where this light differs, the power area is a little bit different. It has a little bit of a better locking mechanism in the power area. But there's also a slot right here on the side of the yoke for a V-mount. Now, it's not for a V-mount battery, it's actually the power brick right here has a V-mount piece right here, and you just slide it in. Now, there's a good and a bad. The good is it keeps this light nice and compact. The bad is, as you can see here, since it sticks out a little bit, on certain light modifiers, it just hits the back of the modifier. Now, it hasn't really been a huge issue for me, but I have noticed it does hit the modifier, and pretty much I'm taking this right here and I'm just looping it back to the back of the light. Not a huge deal, and for the compactness, it makes sense. What I really wish they would have done is figure out how to mount it vertically. That way it would be less in the way. One of the really cool parts about this light, though, is actually this GVM light lights up. It looks really cool when you power this light on. Another professional feature of this light is it has DMX in and out. So if you are moving this into a DMX workflow and you have a bunch of lights on a switcher, well, the Amaran isn't made for that. It's made to be used with their app if you're going to want to wirelessly control it or just remotely control it, where this is meant to be used in a proper DMX system, which is why this is the more professional light. The main thing to remember is, although this light is more professional, the reason we're comparing it against the Amaran is the price point. This is very close in price to the Amaran 200XS. It is not much more expensive. It does have more light output, and it's the more professional option. So I think when it comes down to it, if you are looking for the most professional light with the highest output and is the most durable, like, not that I recommend dropping this, but you could drop this and it would survive the fall, where I think if I dropped the Amaran, it would fall apart because it doesn't have the all-metal build like this light. So this is more professional, it has more light output, but if you're a content creator and you want the smallest and lightest light possible, well, that's where the Amaran's going to come in. It's small, it's light, it is the most color accurate. I guess that's another thing. If you need the most color accurate light and you care about that stuff, the XS is going to be the way to go. But overall, the GVM does offer more for the money. So those are the main differences between these two lights. Now, I'll leave you with this XS used to be the main key light for my YouTube channel. And then when I got this light, I told GVM I wouldn't do the review until I used this light for a considerable amount of time because I wanted to see, was it even worth, switching out from my XS. And I do genuinely love this light to the point where now this is my permanent studio light. I don't even need the 300 watts, but I like how durable it is. When I have clients come in here sometimes, even friends of mine who come in here, when they look at this GVM light, it just looks more professional. It has a great look to it. And I know that's kind of weird to talk about lights because sometimes it's like, who cares about the look of the light as long as you get the final result that you want? If you're someone who does, this just looks a bit more professional. And I like how the logo lights up. It just makes it look really cool when it's powered on. So I do really like the GVM light. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And if you got knowledge and value out of today's video, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to keep up to date with the latest videos on the channel. And until next time, my name's Jeff Fagien. Thank you for watching as always, and I will catch you in the next video.